Greetings, yogis. Joining me today, I hope, for a 20-minute practice. I have a couple blocks. If you've got blocks, books, cans, a water bottle, anything to serve as a prop. I'm sitting on a blanket. I've got it rolled up, a towel, pretty much anything. The reason is keeping the hips above the knees. So put the blocks to the side for now. And then lastly, I've got a strap. So you could use a towel, you could use a shirt, you could pretty much use anything to serve as a yoga strap. So I'm just gonna get started with a little shoulder opening, shoulder warm up. So gently start to just kind of stretch, open and back, and then a couple times like that. I love using the strap for this to help not go too far too quick or too open too quickly. Kind of just help stabilize a little bit. So once you find just a couple like this, forward and back movements, some range of motion here, I'm gonna quit here and start to go side to side. So I've got my base really wide with my arms, or my hands really. So if you want to go more narrow with the hands, if you have a little bit of space to work with and want to go wider with the hands, all is fine. Just nice, slow, nice, easy movements. So then just a couple more, like so. Good. All right, so with that, take the strap and extend the legs. You want the strap to go around the ball of the foot. Doesn't matter which one, we'll get both sides. I'm starting with my right. Hang on to that strap. You want to be able to move your arms. You don't want to be totally locked out here. Just take an inhale and lift and let it go. Try not to lean back. See if you can inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, keep going. You want to make sure that you keep your opposite leg, for me it's my left leg, engaged and active, so toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Just keep on going for it. All right, so last one, I'm going to have you hold for a breath, big inhale, and exhale. Switch and find your strap around, or whatever the prop is, the shirt, the tool around the ball of the opposite foot. For me, it's going to be my left. Take about 5 of those. Inhales, lift. Exhales, relax. You want to keep control. You don't want that leg lifting and then dropping. So inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Try and use your core here. Not your hip flexor as much. Try not to move the torso as much either. So inhale. That last one, we're going to hold, and exhale, relax back down. So placing the strap or whatever prop you use for this to the side. Just going to go ahead and make my way to a table posture. So if knees are a little bit tender, or if you just want some extra cushion, you can keep that blanket. So finding that blanket under the knees, go ahead and start to find some cat-cow poses. Spread the fingers nice and wide. You want to inhale and exhale, so rounding, tucking the chin, tucking the tail, dropping the belly, lifting the hips, lifting the shoulders. So as you find some movements here, you want to keep the elbows soft. You don't want to lock out the elbows here. Maybe even close your eyes if you're comfortable closing your eyes. And just wake up the spine. Take several rounds, several breaths here. If some more organic movements start to present, such as shoulder to hip, or maybe some big circles with the whole body, really let yourself go there and just feel those movements. So continuing in your version, your variation, go for it. So finding a couple more rounds, a couple more breaths, and setting up for a little calf stretch and leg stretching. So I'm going to tuck my toes under and begin to extend one leg. So it doesn't matter which one, we'll get both. I'm going to press back and some length in my calf, maybe a little stretch in the toes, the arch of my foot, the Achilles. The hamstring gets a little action there. So stillness or movement, whatever feels good, just make sure you find about 2 or 3 more breaths. And then begin to switch. Stretching, lengthening through the calf, through the Achilles, through the arch, through the toes. Awesome. And then making your way towards your child's pose. I think toes together, knees wide works best for me right now. So go ahead and just find your child's pose, your resting pose. So hopefully you can relax the head, ears in between the biceps, or head towards the floor. If you've got a block, the block is a nice tool to rest the forehead. You also could sit on a block if you wanted to sit on the block. You want to find some length in the back if that's possible. If the knees disagree, that's okay. This does not have to be your resting pose of choice. So stay in that child's pose for just a couple more breaths, and we'll begin to transition through some more movement and more breath. So with that, finding your way to downward facing dog. I'm going to take my blanket and just put it to the side here. We'll use that later. So, downward facing dog. As you make your way, try and create the triangle shape with your body, pedaling the feet, shaking the head yes, shaking the head no. See if you can soften the elbows, soften the knees. The idea is to draw the heels towards the mat, not necessarily to the mat. So I'm finding length in my back body, pulling my navel towards my spine, and resting my ears in between my biceps. So in my down dog, I'm going to take a couple good, solid breaths in and out through the nose. Or mouth for the exhale. You can go 5 breaths here, that's wonderful. Keep the intention going of just being here on your mat. So many distractions, so see if you can just tune those out if it's possible. If you need to pause and come back, no big deal. But as you start to shift here in your downward dog, think about transitioning towards your plank pose, top of a push-up posture. So you want to line up the shoulders, elbows, and wrists. You can always drop the knees towards the ground and support yourself. You really want to find nice alignment here no matter what. So taking a couple breaths in your plank pose, your version, your variation. This is a tough one, so keep lengthen the neck. If you're going for the full plank, maybe shift back to the heels, shift back to the toes, heels, toes, and back to downward facing dog. Big inhale, big exhale. Adjust the feet accordingly. Big inhale, big exhale, plank pose, top of your push-up posture, nice and strong. So really activate, really engage. Remember, knees on the ground is always a nice option. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Downward facing dog, start to shift. So this time we're going to stay here for just one big breath. Inhale, exhale. Plank pose, top of your push-up posture. Knees on the ground for everybody, shifting back towards child's pose. Hips towards the heels. I'm keeping my toes curled under, and I'm going to stay low as I slide forward. As I slide forward, I'm going to reach down to my belly. Relaxing here, resting the forehead on the mat. Elbows stay hugged in. I'm going to glue my toenails towards the floor, and then inhale, start to lift. So as I lift, I'm finding my cobra pose, ears drawing back, elbows stay hugged in, trying to relax my glutes. Big inhale, exhale, lower it down. Adjusting the hands about middle of the rib cage. I'm going to press into the hands, and I'm going to lengthen up. So I'm not locking my elbows, I'm keeping them nice and soft. This is my version of that upward facing dog. Keep the neck nice and relaxed, nice and loose. You want to resist that urge to crane the head up and look up, pinching the neck. So if you want a little bit more, press into the tops of the feet, lift the knees, big inhale, exhale, lower all the way towards the ground. Sliding back child's pose, hips towards the heels. See if you can shift. Big inhale, big exhale. Again, sliding forward, staying low, staying low, staying low, cobra pose. And exhale, release, lower down. Adjusting towards that upward dog, make any adjustments with the hands. And if up dog doesn't work, stick with your cobra pose, Bhujangasana. So lowering back down, Child's pose, hips towards the heels, engage the core and the back as you shift and move. Let the breath guide you. Working forward one more time like this. Slide, 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 cobra pose or up dog, whatever works best for you. Slowly lower down. Child's pose, hips towards the heels. So that's going to be our version of chaturanga, or a piece of the chaturanga today. Downward facing dog, start to shift, up and back with the hips. Inhale, look forward, walk forward, ease forward, step towards the top of your mat. I'm going to grab my blocks here, and I'm just going to play with the different heights, the different versions. I'm going to start with the tallest height. I'm going to inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. So I have a nice flat back, hopefully. I got neck nice and long. I'm looking a little bit forward and ahead, but also down. So again, you want to avoid cranking that neck up and back. Nice and relaxed. Exhale, lowers you down. Switching the height of my blocks, inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, lower it down. Last one, switching the height of my blocks, inhale, halfway lift. So maybe you want to go fingertips here. Maybe the hands draw towards the shins, just under the knees. Exhale, lower it down. So my knees are a little bit bent to give the hamstrings a break and to protect the low back. So my knees can bend really generously if I need to get my hands towards the floor. Good. Walk the hands over towards one side, reach, 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 and hopefully I'm walking over towards the right, so I'm feeling a stretch through my left side here, and then start to walk over towards the opposite side. So I'm feeling that stretch on the right side through the armpit, maybe even down into the ribs just a little bit. One more time each side, go for it. And go for it. All right, walking the hands back towards neutral, towards midline. Relax the head, shake it out, say yes, say no. Working towards, really slowly, vertebra by vertebra, standing. And these soft knees help protect the low back. So, head is last to arrive. I'm going to shake it out, I'm going to twist it out. I'm going to give myself that big, lengthening upward stretch for upward salute, a side stretch. Maybe a twist starts to present, or maybe a back bend. So whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your most favorite stretches that you'd love to do in the morning that you may not have gotten to yet today, go for that. Sweep of the arms, a little self-love and a little hug. So we'll move through a couple Sundays together and hit a couple standing poses before we make our way back down towards the ground. So stepping towards the top of your mat, settle into a mountain pose, palms face forward, feet hips width distance apart, knees soft. Lengthen the back body, the top of the neck, imagine the 4 points of your feet. Notice the knees, the hips, and how everything's stacked, nice and lined up here. Big inhale, sweeps the arms overhead for upward salute. Exhale, fold into that forward fold. You can always maintain using the blocks, or if you don't want them today, that's perfectly fine too. You do you, you do what's best. Exhale, fold it down, step it back, plank pose, top of your push-up posture. Take one full round of breath, big inhale, big exhale. Knees find the ground, hips find the heels. Going for that child's pose. Shift forward really low, stay low, stay low, stay low. Cobra or up dog or in between, and lower it back down. Child's pose, hips towards the heels, shift back, and downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Look forward, walk forward, step. If you'd like to float forward and you're ready for it, go for it. Halfway lift, inhale and lengthen. Exhale, fold it down. Upward salute, big inhale, reach, 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 reach. Exhale, all the way back down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plank pose, top of your push-up posture. Strong plank pose, big breath in. Big breath out. Mini push-up, so you can maintain in plank or you can drop the knees. Totally yogi's choice. Little push-up, elbows stay hugged in and extend up. From here, child's pose, shift back, hips towards the heels. Stay low, 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 low. Cobra or up dog. and back towards child's pose. Use the strength of the back, strength of the core to get there. Downward facing dog. Big inhale. Big exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. Look forward. It's an inhale. Walk, step, or move towards the top of your mat. Float, perhaps. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Reach, lift, and extend. Exhale, swan dive it down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plank pose, top of your push-up posture. Maybe it's your traditional chaturanga. Maybe it's what serves you best. Perhaps it's a mini push-up and a child's pose. Staying low. Sliding into that cobra or up dog. Making your way to your belly. So a little challenge here to find plank pose. You can always go for this from your child's pose to down dog scenario. For now though, see if you can tuck your toes, lift your knees, maybe lift your hips, maybe, and then see if you can, on that inhale sweep, go all the way to plank. So lifting my knees, pressing down, plank pose, downward facing dog. Big inhale, big exhale, inhale, look forward, walk forward, step forward, ease towards the top of your mat. Good. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold it down. Inhale, root to rise, reach, lift, and extend. Exhale, hands find heart center. All right, so big step back with my left foot. I'm gonna step back and go right for my warrior two. So warrior two pose. I've got my knee, right knee, front knee, over the ankle. I can see my big toe, I can see my second toe. I've got my hips nice and lined up with the long edge of my mat. Arms extend. So with the feet alignment is heel to arch. So my back foot is down. I'm kind of noticing the outside edge of my back foot. I'm not rolling or dumping into that ankle, if you could see that little adjustment there. And then I'm spreading the hands and reaching through the fingertips. Eyes can go over the front hand, kind of up to you if you'd rather. Just stay with your eyes to the side or long edge of the mat, that's perfectly fine. So to get a little bit deeper here, I'm gonna lift my heel and sink slightly and relax. Straightening the leg for a break, coming back and straighten without locking. Good. All right, so reversing, I'm gonna take my back arm, for me left arm, find my waist, flip the palm, reverse this warrior. So you can really give yourself the assist here. You could just look towards the hand if that's better for you. The hand that's up and towards the ceiling. Or you can maintain your eyes forward, whatever forward is for you. All right, so with that big inhale here, reach. Exhale, windmill the hands around, frame the foot. Plank pose, offer to find your flow, your chaturanga. And meeting back in downward facing dog. Good, big inhale here in down dog. Exhale here in down dog. Look forward, walk forward, ease towards the top of your mat. Halfway lift and fold. Good, inhale, root to rise, reach, lift, and extend. And then finding that warrior two. So I'm gonna switch sides just so that I can see you, you can see me. We're gonna set it up and find heel to arch, foot alignment. You wanna be able to see your big toe, your second toe. You wanna focus awareness on the outside edge of the back foot. You don't wanna dump into that ankle. Hips line up with the long edge of your mat. You can press the hands, reaching. Eyes can go over the front hand. They can stay centered, or you can find whatever really works for you, whatever your neck is asking for. So I'm gonna get a little bit deeper by lifting my heel, finding two more of those little presses. So no pressure to go anywhere that doesn't work. Lastly, I'm gonna find my reverse, hands towards the waist or the ribs, the side body, whatever feels better. I'm gonna flip the palm and reverse my warrior two. So Virabhadrasana 2 or B. Stay with the integrity of the legs, the strength of the legs, using the low back. One more breath, inhale, exhale, windmill your hands around, plank pose, offer to flow chaturanga. So we're gonna do that again. We're gonna build on just a little bit and we'll keep this flow going. So once you make your way back to down dog, find yourself in 3 resting breaths. Perhaps that's in your child's pose, perhaps that's right there in your down dog. We're gonna go for it together. Big inhale, look forward, walk, step, ease towards the top of your mat. So before we step back into that warrior 2, we're gonna play with just a little bit of balance. So hands on the blocks. Think about starting to shift the left toes back. From here, I'm gonna lift my left leg. I'm gonna soften into my standing leg, which is my right leg. I'm gonna draw one hand towards the heart, maybe 2 hands towards the heart, and I'm gonna think about that transition towards warrior 2 legs. So I'm just gonna step it back. Good, warrior 2. 1, lift to the heel and lowering on the inhale. Exhale, relax it down. Flip the palm, reverse. Big inhale here. Exhale, windmill the hands around, frame the foot, right back into that standing split or standing L. Making my way from that standing split to that warrior 3. Big inhale, big exhale. Feet meet side by side. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, root to rise, reach, lift, and extend. Exhale, swan dive, hands back down. This time I'm gonna slide my right toes back. I'm going to go ahead and lift the heel, trying to keep my hips nice and balanced here. So standing split variation, I'm gonna go 1 hand towards my heart, 2 hands towards my heart, and then I'm gonna step back into that transition of warrior 2. I'm gonna deepen for an inhale, relax on the exhale. I'm gonna reverse, big breath in, inhale, exhale, windmill all the way around towards that standing L. Or standing split variation, helpful to flex the lifted foot, all 5 toes slightly turned inward towards the standing leg. 1 hand towards the heart, 2 hands towards the heart, finding that extra balance. So then, sweeping the feet to meet side by side, big inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Make sure no props are in your way. Big inhale, reach and extend. Exhale, swan dive it down. Halfway lift, inhale, plank pose, chaturanga. Offer for that flow. Allow yourself to go where it's appropriate, without too much or too little. Child's pose. So take just a couple breaths in your child's pose. Finding yourself to reconnect with that breath. If you started to get a little warm, maybe started to lose the breath, big inhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Last one for now, big inhale and big exhale. So you are free and welcome to repeat that flow. You go down dog, top of the mat, halfway lift, maybe up to that upward salute. Make your way down to that fold. Step it back via airplane pose, warrior 2, reverse, and again standing L to airplane pose, rinse and repeat. So that's our flow for today. I hope and I invite you to practice every day, even if it's just for a few minutes, even if it's just down dog for 5 breaths. Take your yoga everywhere. It doesn't have to be on a mat. Until next time, yogis, namaste.